How are you doing? This is for my gym accommodations for the disabled in the Exum facility. So I didn't know how to put this on my PowerPoint, so I'm just gonna turn it in like this. So when I first walked in, I seen the doors and they look regulation. At least off first glance. But the first thing I noticed was that there weren't any handicap doors. So if you are in a wheelchair, you're gonna need to go with somebody to go work out. Like, you can't go unattended. So that's just strike one, is like they're not being thought of. But that's an easy fix. Just getting a handicap door. Then as soon as I walked in, I seen the weight rack not set up properly. And that's a big issue, especially if you're in a wheelchair, or even if you just have a learning disability, or you don't pick things up as fast and it's weights all over the place, they're not next to each other. It could throw you off. Or if you are in a wheelchair and all of the bigger weights are at the bottom and the little weights are everywhere and you can't find them, so it'd be hard for you to reach up there and grab what you need. So yeah, I felt like just having somebody there for to be able to pick up after people that mess up the stations would greatly benefit, and that's not a hard fix at all. And about the person, I have something to say about that later. There's not enough room for people in wheelchairs to move around, so it's very cramped in there. And then everything, like all of the machines are right next to each other. There are about 4 treadmills right next to each other, and it's just a center space that you can move around in. So it'd be very awkward for them to move around in that area. So personally, I feel like, because there's room outside of Exum's gym, so maybe move some of the machines out, or because it's a line of the bikes that don't go nowhere. I don't know exactly what they're called, but it's a line of those outside. And if we could put a couple treadmills or something out there, then it'd be way more accessible for people with wheelchairs. There are no braille on the machines. So if somebody is visually impaired, or God forbid blind, then they really have no way of knowing where they're at or what they're working out unless they're with somebody. So I think that's an easy fix too, but yeah, it's just it's small thing that we could do for them that we're not thinking about them. And then there's no specific place to fit disabled people in wheelchairs, or there's no place for their caretaker to sit and be with them. So I understand why there's not, but they could put another seat in there, like a special seat, so somebody could take care of somebody disabled that wants to work out, just in case. So they're not just in there and they have to do it by themselves and risk getting injured. And finally, there's nobody trained that can help the disabled. So it's just a gym that's open to the public, and that's great and all, but there needs to be somebody that can help and watch over the disabled students, or even whoever decides to come and ask them. It should be somebody. And besides that, just watching it, making sure nothing funny is going on. But the positives, what they do have, they have a big clear exit sign. Even though the door it doesn't have a handicap opener, automatic handicap opener, but it's still, in case of an emergency, disabled people should be able to pick out where they should go. And it's the only way in. But that's probably not the best. It should be another exit, I feel like. But I feel like this exit does justice for what it's supposed to do. There's proper lighting for the visually impaired. This one, yeah, there's not much I can say about this one. It's just good lighting. It's a nice space in between. It's not too much, not too little. So yeah. And then it's smooth, and there's a smooth and firm floor. So the floor is not hard. So if there is any issues and a disabled person slips and falls, or somebody in a wheelchair accidentally rolls over a weight, or if they do fall, they shouldn't be having any life-altering damage. They shouldn't be too hurt. Of course, falling, you're gonna get hurt regardless. But yeah. And then finally, there's easy access to the basketball court. It's just like basically a straightaway shot. You go out, and then you make a left, and at that corner at the water fountain, you make a right and go straight through the opening doors. But the only thing that's wrong with that is there's no handicap doors leading into the basketball court. And the basketball, the hoops, they don't regulate them to, like, sometimes they'll lower them, but usually they just leave them up, and that's not fair to the disabled all the time. Of course, sometimes it's no problem for them to get on a regular hoop, but like we discussed in the previous chapters, for some, it would be better for them to get on, to have a lowered hoop and not feel the pressure or feel like they're not up to par with the people that they're playing with. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it. I think the changes that Exxon has to make are very simple and could be done with not a lot of money. But who knows? I appreciate you for listening. Have a great one. My name is Colin Williams.